this for folk that need to see it. So I'm just going to pin myself just now. Oops. And I'll do the screen share thing. Right, so this is just another option that you can have if you are trying to manage a specific calorie goal or trying to get more protein or something. This one is specifically high protein. So it's got templates for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks that are all catered towards a higher protein diet. So if you're struggling to hit your protein markers, it might be worth your while to have a wee look at this. Now, for a lot of you, we don't really use templates. Some of you do quite well just purely off of tracking what you have and managing your own diet, and having recipe guides and stuff to follow is fine for you. Some of you probably prefer either using the nutrition templates and having some stuff on a rotation. So if you're like doing shift work or anything, you might find it a bit easier to have like a shift meal plan and stuff like that you would follow. These templates are really handy. They're good to follow for a specific period of time, maybe between like a few months up until you go on holiday. It might be quite good to use one of these just because it takes all the thinking out of it. It takes a lot of like try to plan and all that kind of thing out, and it just makes things a bit more straightforward if you're just trying to reach a specific goal in a specific amount of time. So they can be quite good. The downfall is that they can be not restrictive because there are different options there, but you might not feel like you've got the ability to make choices. So maybe if it was Rona, for example, you were working away last week, the meal plan probably wouldn't work very well for you because you would be able to cook because you were away staying somewhere else for work for a few days. So it might not have been adaptable for you there. There probably could be things to work around, but if you're out for meals or doing like things with work, then it probably wouldn't have worked so well. So for that instance, a meal plan wouldn't be great. And if you rely on them too heavily, you might have got to that point that you're away with your work or something and you're like, I rely so heavily on my meal plan, I don't actually know how to manage my calories without it. So they are good in that they take all the thinking out of it, but they're not good because they take the thinking out of it. So I do encourage obviously to use like calorie counter in MyFitnessPal and all the tracking kind of things, because it does build up your own awareness and it gets you to the point that obviously you don't want to have to be tracking anymore. But if you do have the meal templates, they can be good even just to start you off, or maybe you feel like you've got a bit off track. They're quite good just to get you back in gear, get you back to being more mindful of your plates and things like that. So have a wee look through this and you can see what you think. So the wee intro just talks to you about kind of what the plan is all about. So there's some example templates, or you can use the different meals to build your own. So it's totally up to you. What you would do is you would decide which meals you'll get. So there's a selection of breakfast, there's a selection of lunches, dinners, snacks. So you would pick one from each to match the calorie target that you have. And then you would just write down, right, what do I need to get for these meals? What's my shopping list? I'll write down all the ingredients I need. And then it means that you're not going to the shops and thinking, oh God, what am I going to make for dinner this week? Or what do I need to buy? It's all there in your shopping list. And it prevents you kind of deviating away from that as well. And like we all do it, especially if we're shopping hungry, we end up picking up all sorts of crap that we don't really need. That's not what we set out to buy. So at least if you've got your list, you can just stick to it. And it just means that temptation is removed to go and take a wee trip down the confectionery aisle or anything like that. So also touches a bit on meal prepping. So you can obviously bulk cook these things. So if you say, right, I'm just going to follow template X, this is what I'm going to have for my lunches this week, or whatever my dinners are, I'm just going to bulk cook it. And that means that it's sorted for all this week. Or I'm going to cook extra for my dinner and then I'll have the leftovers for lunch. Or if it's a certain type of meal, you can even freeze it if you batch cook it, and then it means you just need to defrost as you go. So there's those kind of options there, but everything is a single serving. So just be mindful of that. If you're going to cook more portions, then just multiply it by however many that you're wanting to cook. So if it was, whatever a lunch was that I selected, one of them's like a chicken wrap, for example. If I wanted to do that, if I wanted to have that for my lunches for the rest of the week, I would just multiply all the ingredients by 5, and that would be it really. So that's fairly straightforward. And then there's just a wee bit about useful tools. So like if you've got protein powder, it'll be quite handy because that's in some of the recipes and it's always just kind of handy to have anyway. Kitchen scales, obviously you need to measure things out to be as accurate as you can. Food containers if you're prepping or whatever, or you're needing something, also a container to take food if you're going to your work. A cooler bag is handy if you're like, for me, for example, if I was going to my work today, I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with me. So that's quite handy to have all that in the one place, keeps the food fresh. Freezer bags are ideal. If you're batch cooking and you're going to freeze stuff, then it's quite handy just to put your food into them to stick in the freezer. Ice cube trays, we'll come to that one in a minute. They are very, very handy. I have learned to have is ice cube trays and not for ice, funnily enough. So I'll just quickly go through them. Obviously, you're all going to get your own copy of this to go through and properly have a look at everything, but I'll just give it a wee quick run through with you. So this is all your breakfast options. So there's 9 options there, 9 recipes. Hopefully it should cater to everyone's taste. Obviously, if there's things in there that you don't really like, then you can pick and choose. So if you didn't like avocado in something, for example, you would just take that out and you can substitute it with something else. You can put these into MyFitnessPal if you were going to change things. Just be mindful the calories might be a little bit different. And that's at the end of this wee guide. There is a wee bit that I put that just because there's so many things entered into the MyFitnessPal database. So like 100 grams of chicken even will be different calories for depending on where you get it. It's just these calories are always an estimate. They're never 100% accurate. So just try and obviously keep that in mind if you were safe, or if you were going to make like the ham, cheese and onion omelette or whatever. Say you didn't want to put ham in it and you just wanted to change the calories on that, you could enter everything onto MyFitnessPal, work it out that way, remove the ham, and then you'd be left with X amount of calories. And it would, again, it's just a rough estimate, but it's just something to keep in mind if you're trying to match all the calories on things, okay? So there's like overnight oats that can be quite a good one to make if you are, you know, stuck for time. If you're on the go in the morning, maybe you've not got time to have a breakfast, maybe you could take that to your work and have it there, or it just saves you time having to actually prepare something in the morning. It's quite a handy one to have. Protein porridge is another handy one. You can get like tubs and stuff like pre-made and you just add water to it like the instant porridge, but that's quite a good one just to get an extra hit of protein, because porridge is a great breakfast to have, not particularly high in protein, just naturally it's mainly carbs. So if you are trying to get more protein in your diet, then it's handy just to stick a wee scoop of whey in there and that'll give your protein a good boost. And then there's other wee things like there's peanut butter toast and stuff like that that's really quick to make, like a bit of toast and just bung a wee protein shake with it. Again, going to give you a good boost on your protein. The pancakes one, so this is what I mentioned about the ice cube trays. This is something that I discovered on Pancake Day, funnily enough. I had loads of batter left over and I saw a thing on Instagram that you can put all the leftover batter into ice cube trays and freeze it, and then it means that you don't need to make all the batter from scratch whenever you're making pancakes. You can just pop out a wee cube, and that's like a serving size. That makes like 1 pancake, so you just pop out however many cubes that you need to make and cook them as you go, which I thought was an amazing idea. So that's why I said the ice cube trays are quite handy. If you've got leftover batter, then you can just put it in there. So yeah, hopefully there's like something to suit everyone. And like I said, if there's something in a particular recipe that you didn't like, you can just sub it out and make the difference with your calories. Same with your lunch. So all the calories are set out on all of these. It's all measured out as well. So if you were just going to bulk cook something, you would multiply. Like, so if it was the chicken burrito bowl, for example, if you were going to make 4 portions of that, you would just get 400 grams of chicken. You would have a full red onion rather than a quarter. Same for the rest of these things. So you just multiply it by however many servings you want to have. And when you come to like divide it up, don't be too stressed about trying to make it as even as you can. If you had, you know, your 4 portions of your chicken burrito bowl, so it's 400 calories in 1 serving. If you did that for 4, that would be 800 calories in total. So even over the four days, if you were to eat that, you're still consuming 800 calories over the 4 days. So even if it wasn't perfectly measured out, one day you might have 100, not that you would, but you might have 100 calories worth in one day and 500 in another. It all will add up to 800 at the end of the 4 days. So don't stress too much about making it even. Just try and make it even, obviously, for the sake of your appetite, that you want to give yourself a decent amount enough for every day when it comes to separating into your Tupperware or whatever it is that you're using. So a few different lunch options there as well. You can obviously change between lunch and dinner, whatever you prefer. It's just giving you ideas. Those meals can be changed out as long as they've got the same calorie and protein values, okay? So there's no point having like a 500 calorie dinner and swapping that out for a kind of leaner, like 400 calorie lunch. Okay, try and make it a 500 calories for 500 calories kind of thing. Same with your protein. And then there's some snacks as well at the end. So just some high protein snacks, which is quite handy to kind of keep in mind if you're struggling to hit a certain protein target. Then snacks can be a quite good way just to boost your numbers up a wee bit. So there's some sweet ones, there's healthy ones under 100 calories. So lots of different ideas. But also I know that you guys all like to try about with protein snacks. So you'll all have your favourites. So it's just about incorporating it into your meal plan. Because like I said, this is obviously just a template. There are some examples here. So there's a 1500 calorie one, 1600 calorie, 17, 18, and 2000. Okay, so there's kind of targets to suit the majority of people that would require a plan like this. Obviously, if you needed more, then you would just change it, or if you will probably know one that I work with is on less than 1500 calories for the most part anyway. So yeah, you've got a breakfast option, lunch, dinner, snack. Okay, so this would be like a full day that you could have. You would have your ham and cheese omelette for breakfast, a Nando's chicken wrap for lunch, your chili for dinner, and then that wee snack to keep you going. And that gives you 130 grams of protein in total, 1550 calories. If you knew that, if I just have this for my week, then that's my calories are sorted and my protein target is hit, and you can be quite happy with that. Like that's pretty decent. Like if you find that you struggle with trying to make all your food match up, if you struggle with trying to hit your calorie target, hit your protein target, and try to think up things to eat and stuff can get quite frustrating. This takes all of that out of it, which is good. You can sub it in with different options as well. So you don't need to feel like you need to eat the same things all the time. There's lots of different options there to keep you going. It's just obviously picking the right ones that will match your calorie balance, okay? So you can play about with it, you can pick your own, or you can just choose one of these ones if it suits you and if it suits your goals. And then there's just some wee frequently asked questions towards the ends. So we'll talk about how to use the templates. That's pretty much what I've done here, and this is also going to be recorded and put in the group as well. Talking about your protein and calorie target, how the snack options work, allergies, all these kind of things, they're all addressed in here. Talking about experiencing hunger, a lot of things that we all talk about anyway whenever people are either in a calorie deficit or making changes to their diet. Talking about alcohol, things like that. So it's a really handy wee guide to have, and it might just help even get you out of a wee funk. It might be a good thing to use for a short period of time until you feel like you're back in a good routine or something. Or if you've got a certain goal and you want to just go for it and not have to worry about, try to think up all your meals and flexible dieting and things like that, this might just take a bit of hassle away from you really, but can be quite handy. So I'll get these sent out. I'll put the link in the Facebook group for this tomorrow, so you can all have a wee gander at it and see what you think. But I think they might be quite handy for you guys. So that's that. So that was the high protein meal guide that I wanted to show you all. And then I've probably said to most of you about this anyway. For the past few months, I've been building a members website. So it means that there'll be like a place where all our resources are kept. So for example, that wee guide would be kept on the member site. There'll be exercise tutorials, all the stuff that we use, like the nutrition templates and all these recordings will all get saved on the member site. So it's just one place that you can go to. We'll still keep the Facebook group just for the sake of like sharing ideas and stuff. I know it's quite handy for that, which is good. But the member site is like your own little portal that you have that you can access all of the stuff that you need. So all those resources are up there. Then rather than trying to fit it about in like the Google Drive and stuff and trying to find things on Facebook that I've uploaded, it means everything will be in the one place and it'll just make life a lot easier for you to access all these things. So I've been plugging away at it for a while, for ages now. But I'm nearly there. It's nearly ready to go. So I'll let you know when you can access it and you can see all the stuff that's on there, because I think it will just be a lot more useful for you to be able to just see everything that you've got at your disposal rather than trying to find it from a post I put in the Facebook group from weeks and weeks ago or something like that. So that's what the plan is with that. So that should hopefully definitely be ready by the end of March. I'm hoping if I can get a good step on it by the end of next week, as long as technology doesn't hate me, which it does, but I'll see what I can do. But that's the plan for that. So we've got some exciting things. We've got the hoodies coming up, got the member site coming up, and then this new wee nutrition guide. So if MD fancies using that, I'll put it in the Facebook group tomorrow and you can have a wee look at it and see what you think. And if MD wants any help with recipes or putting together a template or something, then you can let me know and I'll be happy to go through that with you. But what are we thinking of the wee guide? Do you think that would be helpful? Does anyone think that they would use that?
Yeah, I'll definitely use it.
Probably in and out of it.
Yeah, like try it for a wee bit and yeah, definitely. Because I used you as an example because I knew you were working away last week. So something like that would not be handy, like a ham and cheese omelette when you're, because I take it you were in a hotel or something while you're away. Yeah. So something like that wouldn't work for that instance. And you're like, sorry guys, I can't come out for dinner tonight.
I know, I'm really sorry. Can you get me something off this list, please?
Exactly.
Just at the back and get me this.
Can the chef make me ham and cheese and onion omelette of 400 calories exactly, please?
Absolutely.
It just wouldn't work. Just take your wee ice cube tray with your protein mix, your pancake mix in it and see.
Absolutely, yeah. Just in my backpack.
Yeah. So it wouldn't work for that situation, but for the most part, if you were just like had say a holiday, a target for that, and you're like, right, I've got X amount of weeks, I'm just going to hammer it, follow this plan. I know that the calories are solid, they're exactly what I need. If I measure everything out properly, then I know I'm on track, and it takes the guesswork out a wee bit. As long as you follow it, obviously, like if you are having extra wee bits and stuff, then it won't work because they're not being accounted for. So if you are going to follow it, you do need to follow it to the letter for it to be effective. It's just the same as if you are tracking on MyFitnessPal. If you're having wee nibbly bits and stuff and not logging them, and you know, like a wee biscuit that just doesn't get counted for, then it's the same thing. It will skew your calorie target or your deficit.
Is that my mint fudge you're talking about?
Yeah. Not pointing any elbows or whatever. Yes, I'm really intrigued about this mint fudge. So have you finished it or just still any left?
No, I gave it all to my mum.
Done? Yeah.
I need it out of the house. I
need it out of the house.
I just kept itching and eating it. I was like, oh, no.
I was thinking that today. I was like, I wonder if she's still picking away at it.
No, it's all gone. All gone.
Fair play. Nice one, guys. Well, that's pretty much all that we needed to chat about tonight. It was just to kind of talk about these things with you and go through the guide so that you know that it's there and how to use it if you do fancy it. And like I said, if anyone is wanting to give it a go and needs me to give them a wee hand with it, then that's absolutely smashing. But yes, I'll also get the link up soon for when I'm going to order some hoodies, and member site should be with us soon as well. Exciting. Is there anything you want to chat about tonight, or are we all good? No, just taking in all that information. I've just thrown that as per usual. Amazing. Well, thanks so much for joining on the call tonight, guys. I'll let you get back to being nice and cozy. I'm going to go and get a cup of tea and try and keep myself up. All right, guys, nice one.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.